Welcome to episode 30 of VYPE Recruit Spotlight. I'm your host, Wac. Joining alongside with me today is only Jackson. Ashton couldn't make it. This is the weird thing with school starting is that, you know, we have to work around the high school kid, coming in and joining us on the show. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. We're all busy anyways. I mean, I know you're going off to the Crosby-Fort Bend Marshall game pretty much as soon as we're done recording here. That being said, let's jump to our man Jackson. Jackson, how you doing today?
Yeah, doing good. Was a busy week last week, even busier week this week with week 1 done and week 2 starting back up. I'll be heading out to Crosby, Fort Bend Marshall today to catch that big time game. It's going to be an exciting game. Community for Crosby is going to show out, so very excited for that game.
Yeah, I mean, and week 1 was it was interesting to say the least when we think of recruiting. The window is now open for class of 2024, and I know you'll get to that in a minute. But had some pretty major injuries. I feel like across the state of Texas when it comes to high school football. I don't want to name names because injuries are never fun to talk about. But had a couple that went down that you hate to see go down like that. So. Jackson, talk to us a little bit about. I know we talked about the the kind of that closed period is now open. Go ahead and talk to us about that.
Yeah, as of last night at midnight, college coaches could start contacting class of 2024 recruits. All these kids started getting messages and stuff at midnight that flood into the morning. You saw tons of recruits start posting a lot of the stuff that they get at these visits, but because they're underclassmen, they can't post them yet. You saw Lagway got to post all of his stuff from his visits, other recruits as well. So it's just an exciting time. These 24 kids have been waiting for this time where they can stay in touch with coaches, have coaches text them throughout the season, throughout the year. It's one of those exciting times for recruits. So it's a lot of fun to watch, but it's heating back up. So get ready because there's going to be a ton of offers being made the next couple of weeks.
What are some names we might want to pay attention to in the class of 2024 now that all this is going down?
Obviously, you have the big names in the Houston area. You have Lagway, you have Matoyer, you have Justin Williams from Oak Ridge. But I think other than these top guys, I think guys you should look out for are some offensive line. I mean, Colton Siraki from the Woodlands. I think he's going to start seeing his recruitment have an uptake, pick up some more big-time offers as he's already got Arkansas, Baylor, TCU, and SMU to name a few. I think you'll see a guy like Gibson Pyle at Klein Kane, who's already rated as a 4-star. I think you'll see his climb start to pick up more SEC offers as he only has a couple right now, also more Power 5 offers. I think that when you're looking at it, another guy that already has a ton of offers, but I think his offer list is going to grow a lot will be Ashton Funk from Tompkins. I think he has a great chance of being the top offensive lineman in the country when it's all said and done in the class of 24. So I'm just interested to see how it goes with a lot of these Houston area kids because class of 24 in Houston is loaded. Very excited to see who kind of starts to make the rise on the rankings as Houston's going to be very, very populated with talent at the D1 level for class of 24.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now that the class of, not only that the seasons begin, but to see where the class of 2024 athletes land. I mean, tons of great performances across the board from across the state of Texas, and I love to see these matchups. I mean, there's some great matchups just across the state against teams that are really good teams. You think last week in San Antonio, those big 3 games: Reagan, Smithson Valley, Judson, Johnson, and Steele Brennan, just some top name athletes. I mean, I think Ty Hawkins from San Antonio Johnson, he's a sophomore class of 2025, and I think this is going to be a kid to watch. He kind of blew onto the scene and just really, they lost, but at the end of the day, he led his team back, sent the game in overtime, and man, he had it going through the air on the ground. And so my eyes are going to be on him going forward for sure from the San Antonio area. That being said, Jackson, why don't you go ahead and I think you have the interview for us this week. So why don't you go ahead and set us up?
Yeah, we've got a big time interview this week. We've got tight end Davon Mitchell from Allen High School. He's rated as one of the top tight ends in the country for his class. I believe he's the class of 25, but could be the class of 24. He's already got some big time offers. He's got Alabama, he's got A&M, he's got all the offers you'd want as an underclassman. So very excited to watch this interview after I had it a couple weeks ago. So let's push that right now.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's jump to your interview right now.
Thanks, Josh. We got a very special guest here on the show today. 4-star tight end out of Allen, Davon Mitchell. Davon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing good, man. Let's start there. Your class of 2024 tight end. Your recruitment's really been blowing up this past offseason. You've got offers from Colorado, A&M, Texas Tech, Virginia Tech, Tennessee, Mizzou, North Texas, Incarnate Word, Penn State, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, Texas, and Florida State as of right now. What's it been like going through this recruiting process as you've really blown up this past offseason?
It's pretty crazy, I wasn't expecting all of this, but the recruitment is crazy, but it's also fun at the same time. So,
yeah, man, your recruitment has really been looking good so far, and also it's kind of nice being able to go through the recruitment with a kid as your quarterback, who's one of the top class of 24 quarterbacks in the country with Mike Hawkins Jr. What's it been like being able to go through the process with your QB and go on visits together, go check out some of these top level schools?
it's pretty cool doing stuff with my QB. We got good chemistry and stuff. Like we work out, do everything together. So,
Yeah, man. Y'all both play at Allen High School. Allen High School. Anyone, even people outside of Texas, know who Allen High School is. They're one of the most historical Texas high school football programs in the past 20 years. Talk about what it's like playing at Allen High School. You've had lots of great time players play at Allen, play at the next level, and now in the NFL as well. What's it like getting to be an Allen Eagle?
to be honest, it's really a blessing to be out in Eagle. The team is great. Everybody, good around each other. And, like he just bring us as a team, like us not knowing like who other people are, like it brings us in closer and make us feel like family together. So to me, it's a blessing.
For sure, man. And obviously, y'all had a pretty great season last year. Didn't end the way you wanted it to, but now we got the upcoming season. We're a week away right now. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to this year going into your junior year, and maybe some goals you have for the team and for yourself?
To be honest, the goal is to win. Win all district and make it to the state championship and win that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the state championship game, that's everyone's goal, man. And that's obviously been the standard for Allen for the past couple of years. Now, kind of looking back at recruitment, you've gotten to visit and gotten offers from some of the top programs in the country. What's been your top 3 favorite visits you've been on, and maybe 1 or 2 special moments that you've had with either coaches or while on the visits?
Uh, I'll say it's Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my favorites so far. All the visits I've been on.
Okay. What would be what's your favorite memory maybe from one of those schools that maybe was talking to a specific coach? Maybe it's a different school. What was one of your favorite memories you've been on at a visit?
Well, Arkansas had this just a prospect day. We always out there having fun. Water gun, different competition. I got to have fun with some of the coaches, so that was pretty cool. Especially Coach Logan and Coach Pittman.
Yeah, man, Coach Pittman, he's really turned around the Arkansas program, and they're looking to be how they used to be back in the SEC. So it's really exciting to see Arkansas recruiting at such a high level again. Last couple things I got for you. We'll switch it up, have a fun question here. NIL has become a big deal in college football. You see guys sign deals with Canes, with sport car companies. You saw DeColdis Crawford this week drop a video about his commercial with an AC unit company. What would be your dream NIL deal once you got to college, whether it's a certain brand, whether it's like a candy or a food place, what would be your dream NIL deal?
Uh, to be honest, I want to get an NIL with Jordan or like uh I, it's a lot. I can't even
Okay.
answer it right now.
I mean, Jordan's a great choice, man. I mean, they're definitely bringing their way into the football industry right now, heavy. So, I mean, that's a great choice. Last question I really got for you is a lot of people think Allen has kind of seen some down years in the past couple of years. What's a message that you maybe have to Texas high school football fans and Texas high school football in general about how Allen's going to play this year? And what's your message to everyone that doesn't necessarily know you yet?
Um, people can't speak too soon, but this year, we're gonna shock the world. So that's all I have to say.
For sure, man. Well, Davon, I want to thank you for hopping on the show, man. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you, get to meet you a little bit. We're going to send it back over to Josh, but Davon, once again, thank you again. Looking forward to seeing that dynamic duo between you and Mike Hawkins this year. And very excited to see how the Allen Eagles do. So, Davon, once again, thank you for hopping on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, thanks again for that interview, Jackson. It is now time to get to my favorite segment. That's our Under the Radar segment, when we take a look at athletes that are being under recruited for one reason or another, whether it's a high level 4 or 5 star athlete that we feel is, needs to have 30, 40 offers and they only have 10 or 15, or it's that athlete that doesn't have any offers whatsoever. And we're like, why is this? You can clearly see the skill on paper. I got one of those this week. Let's jump to our Under the Radars now, starting with you, Jackson. Who do you got for us this week?
Yeah, my under the radar athlete is Keith Willis from C.E. King High School. His nickname's the Bulldozer. He's class of 2023, 6 foot, 215-pound running back. He's got a 3.0 GPA. He's a kid that I saw some highlights from last week against Crosby, where he went absolutely nuts, had a lot of big-time touchdown runs. He's a guy who hits the hole hard, can be physical in the run game as well. It doesn't take one guy to bring him down. It takes a whole army to bring him down. He's a guy I expect to start picking up some offers. He's only got one small offer as of right now, but I think as the season progresses, I think C.E. King's going to have a pretty good year. I think this will help him pick up some good offers. He's a guy I think a school should definitely take a chance on because, I mean, if you just look at the tape, he's a playmaker in the backfield, and he can do lots of different things with the ball, and he's pretty good in the pass game too. So, I mean, I think he's a guy that's definitely going to start picking up some offers as the season progresses. He's definitely a guy to watch out for, and very excited to see how he plays the rest of the season.
And my under the radar this week is Luke McCall of Jefferson High School. He's a 6 foot, 170-pound senior. Runs for 4.3, 140, so he is a quick man. He's also got some lower body strength as well. I don't know if I'm going to put the games from this past week or from last season. Either way, you'll see him on the screen. But I know from the game last week against New Boston, I mean, he made 2 or 3, 4 guys miss in the backfield where those should have been pretty easy tackles. Ends up scoring. He's also that home run type threat as well. He can pretty much score anytime he touched the ball. In fact, he pretty much did against New Boston. I mean, here are his stats from last week. He only had 2 carries, 116 yards on those carries, though, and 2 scores. He had another 2 catches with 1 touchdown in there on one of those catches. So pretty much anytime this man touches the ball, he can score, and he does in this case, especially if you look at last week. He's that kind of versatile player that you like. Obviously, he's got the speed, he's got the hands, he's got the quickness. He's hard to bring down. It's pretty amazing to me that this man doesn't have any offers yet. You'd think at least, maybe like a D3 type of school would have offered him by now. But that's kind of the thing, right? When you think of like, hey, there's 1,400 schools in the state of Texas. Sometimes, kids are going to be missed. And, that's kind of how we do this show, to hopefully get someone noticed. This kid is someone that I think is going to, he can be a difference maker on a ball club. He's going to make a ball club better. So with that being said, Luke McCall, my under the radar athlete for this week. If you or someone wants to be featured on our show, hit us up in the comments. Let us know the DMs, send us emails. We will cover you on our show. That's what we're here for. That's what we love to do. That being said, somewhat of a short show this week, but again, when there's two of us instead of three, that kind of limits the talking points, if you will. So, Jackson, give us some shout outs and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out everyone going out to games this week for our crew. It was a busy week one. It's going to be a busy week two. I'm going to have a lot of fun in Crosby. Very excited to go watch that game tonight. So shout out both those Crosby and Fort Bend Marshall communities. Very excited to watch that game and see the crowd, see the fans. Also want to shout out a couple Fort Bend Christian Academy football players who have really been picking up some offers lately. All three of them got Texas Tech early in the week. Then they just got U of H. Shout out to those three kids. Very excited to watch how their careers develop throughout the rest of the year. But yeah, those are my, and shout out to you, Josh. Episode 30. We've been doing it 30 weeks now, so very excited to keep going.
Closer and closer to that 1 year mark. It'll be here before you know it. Maybe we'll have to get Will on for that 1 year mark. We'll see what we can do there. Who am I going to shout out? Gotta shout out college football. I mean, yes, there were some last week. Speaking of Will, I mean, Nebraska. I mean, didn't like that start for them. But college football is going to be back this weekend for every other team. It's not week 0; it's week 1. Lots of good matchups on the board. Can't wait, man. I love this time of year. And then, hey, next week is NFL. So, can't be more excited. So pumped and so ready. That being said, that is our show for this week. We'll be back next Friday with another edition of VYPE Recruit Spotlight. Till then, I'm Wac, and that's Jackson, and we'll see you at the games.